Another day, another draft here on Splash Play. Stream draft number 160 for me in the year. It's another day of Best Ball Mania. Today we're getting the bad side of training camp. Some big injuries, leg casts, guys out 4 to 6 weeks. It's all happening here. Of course, I am already in a draft room here. Today I'll be picking in the 5-hole. We will see what we get in the way back to make it fun and lively. Of course, this stream presented by Underdog. Promo code SPLASH on there to get $250 in bonus cash. The most bonus cash you'll find in the biz. The people are calling it boner cash because they are turgid with how much money they have in their lives here during the best ball home stretch. Let's talk about our preseason updates, though. The big one's still going on. Of course, you've probably seen enough on social media and TV. Steelers-Niners still talking the Brandon Ayuk trade. Less money, less draft capital for the Steelers going out to the Niners than there would be in other trades and contracts offered. So my gut, as it has been the entire time, is that this is them allowing for Brandon Ayuk to see his market. They're also allowing themselves to see the market. They're also allowing themselves to see what they should be paying Brandon Ayuk. I think they will come to terms at some point. We did see the Patriots yesterday offered over 30 mil. I think the reports were 31 to 34 mil that he might have been getting per year if he had gone to the Patriots, if he wanted to go there. But for Brandon Ayuk at this point, I think the most likely outcome is the hold and ending, him coming to terms. But we'll see. The Steelers keep going after it. There's still a lot of smoke. And I guess the Twitter guy who I've never heard of before that everybody seems to know, seems to think that Brandon Ayuk will be going to the Steelers. So we'll see what happens. I have to think within the next week. So let's see what we get on the board here. Jefferson coming back. Amon-Ra, we took a share of yesterday. Hard to keep not taking Justin Jefferson. Still not the time of year for me in draft number, I think this is 92 in BBM. Not to reach yet. So we'll go Justin Jefferson live for Seattle in week 16, live for Green Bay in week 17. We'll see what we get on the way back. Shout out to the chat as well. We got some GMs all abound. Drafting as if Ayuk stays in San Francisco and buying the dip on Ayuk and Pickens. That's a reasonable way to do it. Pickens seems like he won't be going to the Niners no matter what happens. It seems like Freiermuth and Pickens not going to be a part of that trade, even though the rumors initially on social media, those were two guys that the Niners were asking for instead of a draft pick or in addition to a first-round draft pick, potentially. T. Higgins is quote-unquote on a mission to have a great season. According to the Cincinnati wide receiver coach, Higgins looked good in camp, obviously benefiting a little bit more as he always has when Jamar Chase isn't on the field. Chase still holding in on his side there, looking for a new contract. We'll see what happens with that one. But Higgins having a good camp. I probably need to take a little bit of Higgins now. I've had him marked lower than the field for this entire time period. Thought he should have been going the 50s with how he played last year and some of the risk for him, maybe tanking things this year. But it does seem like after having this contract hang over his head for a couple of years, Higgins is now more motivated. So that was one of my concerns for him, and it does seem like it should be less of a concern at this point. We got Mike Williams off the PUP list, should be good for week 1. No surprises there. Christian Watson hit his knee to end practice, or hit on his knee to end practice, did walk off. I don't really want to put in a lot of news items like this one where it's like guy got hurt for a moment, left the field. But for Christian Watson, thought it's worth noting for that one. Not a real news item because he walked off, but him getting banged up again. Not his hamstring. That's really the main one we're watching out for him. Man, the thumbnail, Josh Downs. Josh Downs has a high ankle sprain. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Rookie Anthony Gould, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, took over the slot reps in his absence. So that's what it's looking like there. Not a boost for A.D. Mitchell. Not a boost for Alec Pierce either, I guess. Probably not a boost for him either because he's probably not going to get more routes tacked on top. Maybe of the fake shot of them moving Michael Pittman in the slot a little bit more and Pierce gets some more outside routes. A.D. Mitchell, maybe they both open up some outside routes there. But it does seem like Gould being the one to step in. They're just doing a one-to-one replacement there for the kind of role that Josh Downs has. But not great for sure. What's up from Leeds, England? Shout out Finn here. Classic Leeds, England kind of name if I've ever seen one, but appreciate the international flair here. Appreciate you watching live. I don't know what time it is. Tell me what time it is, Finn, over there. If I had to guess, 5 o'clock p.m., 6 o'clock p.m., I don't know. Cade Otton, one of the stars of Bucks camp so far. Surprised to hear that one. He's had a lot of days where it's like, oh, Cade Otton caught 4 out of 5 passes from Baker Mayfield in practice. Didn't realize he was stringing them together that well. But Pewter Report, a site that I've hold in a lot of esteem, been covering Bucky Irving about as well as anybody out there. They have talked about Cade Otton. So there we go. 4 p.m. just having a Sunday dinner. Can't wait. So it's 4 p.m. on Sunday? Now you're throwing me for a loop. But I assume a Sunday dinner could be had on a Thursday as well. But I think, 4 p.m. Same day. We're still in the same day. You're not in the future that far. Raiders QB battle still open. Minshew still steadily outplaying O'Connell. I guess lately more so outplaying O'Connell. I think this is one where Minshew's going to win the job. It's been going either way, though. In minicamp, look more like O'Connell. O'Connell's regressed. If I had to make the bet, it would be on Minshew, but at this point, still probably don't want to take either of them. We're on the clock here. See if there's any value pushed back. Saquon, the faintest of value pushed back. Devon Achane, I feel like a common build for me going with Justin Jefferson. I have a hard time going up to get Cooper Kupp, and I'm not going to do it. Sunday dinner's a roast dinner. There we go. And Downs hasn't dropped much in the drafts you've done. I'm surprised by that, given people's overreaction to any injury. We get Jefferson, Adams as a start. Hard to argue with guys have been 2 historical first-round picks. Guys have been maybe in the hunt to be 101. Obviously, Jefferson has directly been. Adams not too far off from it. So a start that I don't mind. Definitely a common start for me. Nothing too unique so far through 2 rounds. Rest of the news here. Russell Wilson acting as QB1. The team also supposedly wants to offer him a long-term deal if competent. I'm really confused by what the Steelers have been doing this entire time. So Russell Wilson had a calf injury. Mike Tomlin says, I'm holding Russell Wilson out. He wants to go. I'm not going to let him go because he's too important to the team. We don't need him to be out there with this calf injury. Coincidentally, they're seeing a lot more Justin Fields as Fields soaks up all the first team reps. They seem to gravitate towards Fields, start to really respond well to him, defending him from the defense on some cheap shots, like stuff that usually is a sign of a guy maybe earning some starting QB cred. But now you have this one coming out, which clearly has to be coming from a team source, but Russell Wilson being a guy that they want to sign long-term potentially if he's coming through and doing what he's supposed to do. I still think that Russell Wilson's a starter there. Still think now with what Fields has shown, they're going to definitely want to see him at some point this year, but it doesn't really make sense combined. So that's basically how I'm feeling about it right now. We're on the clock here. Thought we might get like a really interesting value, but Ayuk does go the pick before us to the quote-unquote draft guy. We have Devontae Smith here, who has had a great camp. I don't mind him. Metcalf correlates in week 16 with Justin Jefferson. DJ Moore would like to get more of, but they're going to keep scooping Devontae Smith here. Think he should be priced ahead of Jalen Waddle. He's the better wide receiver too, in my opinion. Doesn't have quite as good of a contract, but still also has a great contract for himself. He's going to be the wide receiver 3. Feel like this is I wouldn't say a common start for me, but this is definitely a start that I've had before. Jefferson, Adams, Devontae Smith. We'll see what we get on the way back. Hopefully some value at some point to make this team a little bit more unique. Devontae, a little bit of value, not that unique. Ayuk coming all the way back here would have been, I think, officially unique. We got Eric Gray and Dante Turbo Miller battling for RB3 according to the Athletic. So this is one where Eric Gray was battling with Tyrone Tracy for a while for RB2. It was something as well in the depth chart where those guys right next to each other. Seems like now Tyrone Tracy has pulled ahead in RB2. Still don't think he's really a threat for Devin Singletary's usage, but he is a guy you can take as a semi-contingent value. He's also going to return some kicks, maybe catch some passes. I think that's basically where Tyrone Tracy is. I've never been big on him. Think he was getting overdrafted for a while in the 190s, him being one of those Tank Bigsby, Audric Estime, Bucky's too high now, but those kind of clicks, I think he's basically in that camp for me now for Tyrone Tracy. It took him long enough to earn it, but he's, I think, quote unquote, earned it. In my eyes, the most important eyes of all. Rondale Moore, least price. This is a sad one for me. I was taking a lot of Rondale as my late last round Washington bring back for the Washington Atlanta Week 17 correlation. But Rondale Moore leaves the cart in an air cast with a leg injury. So gotta think that's a break. Gotta think that might be like a Kevin Ware style break, given that they ended the practice. Team was very shook up. Kirk Cousins talking about they all have their prayers up from Rondale Moore. Seems like it would be hard for him to get back in this year. He could. Like, we could be talking about a 3-month injury. Pure speculation on my part. Don't think he's draftable, though. I haven't taken Ray McLeod lately. Unfortunately, think it's going to be a loss for me in terms of Rondale Moore. With how much I've taken him so far, if I max out BBM, I'll have about 7% Rondale Moore. So that sucks. That's what I talk about, too, with the late guys. You miss some opportunity there if you end up taking one late guy a little bit too much. And Rondale Moore burning me because he didn't make the depth chart was one thing. Rondale Moore burning me because he shattered his leg catastrophically was not the outcome you're looking for, but welcome to best ball. I know that. You guys, if you don't know it from me right now. Cody Schrader seems likely to make the Niners roster behind CMC, Elijah Mitchell, and Jordan Mason. Not necessarily in that order because, as we talked about, Jordan Mason and Eli Mitchell competing for that backup RB job. But Schrader has had an okay camp. Guarendo's hurt. They're bringing in Breida for some depth, I guess. But Schrader, it seems like, according to The Athletic, close to making the roster. And last but not least is a 32 beat writer suite. Brandon Powell having a great camp despite Jalen Naylor leading as the wide receiver 3. We talked about Naylor. I think he's draftable as wide receiver 3. I personally believe in Brandon Powell a little bit more. I think he's been a better target earner, better route runner, better player in terms of everything that I look for. I played Powell a little bit last year, was excited to do it. He actually did make some showdown winning lineups last year when the entire pass catching core for the Vikings got depleted. So I like Powell more. Naylor's had the better camp, but Powell not having a bad camp either. In fact, having a very good camp. So don't think Powell's totally dead. There we go. There's your news segment here. Of course, I do this up top every stream here when I do a draft, which is now 7 days a week. So guys, please subscribe down below if you appreciate that news, appreciate the value I'm trying to add to your fantasy football life. Hit the like button as well. Leave a comment. Your engagements go a long way for me here as a solo proprietor trying to make it work here on stream every day. Travis Etienne goes 42. I would be in the Etienne business in the 50s. Don't want to be there in the 40s still. We've seen him fall enough times. We've seen signal about Tank Bigsby getting more work. Bigsby looks good in camp. I personally don't want Etienne at that spot. We can keep taking aged receivers here. Can add Amari Cooper to the mix. Clearly not an RB spot. Don't want to go all the way up and get Josh Jacobs. Just no real value coming back. Pickens, I can make up on a little bit. Do prefer Amari, I think. Yeah, I guess just keep scooping micro value. Amari Cooper here, wide receiver 4. Obviously, expectation is he's not going to get traded to the Niners, but if he did get traded to the Niners, I don't think that really would hurt him that much. How would Amari move if he were moved for Brandon Ayuk? I feel like he would he come up? He can't go down because people love the Niners too much. He might go in the 30s. And an Ayuk going to Cleveland. He comes up, I guess. Maybe Ayuk goes back to mid-second round. That's interesting. I don't think it's going to happen again. Still really don't think Ayuk goes anywhere. But I think that's how that would go if he did go to Cleveland. Think Cooper would go up? Maybe. Best Ball Explorer tool you recommended is awesome, especially for free. Thanks, Spags. Yeah, check it out, bestballexplorer.com. Be mindful of the fact that this person, I don't know who the person who created it is, but my sense if they're doing it for free, number one, it might not be free next year. Number two, it might just be a thing where they're trying to get an edge for themselves in tournaments and know a lot of data because that tool is really sick and has a lot of depth of data. But, again, I don't care. If you don't care either, go to bestballexplorer.com. They do a good job. And, of course, Best Ball Overlay also does a good job. You can see the data on the screen here, and this is something that you cannot get with the Best Ball Explorer tool. The exposures on screen, the Week 16, Week 17 matchups, the point totals from DK Sportsbook. Big advantages to add to my portfolio here, to my process, as I'm trying to balance exposures in the back half of my BBM draft. So, great tool, bestballoverlay.com, promo code SPLASH if you want to get $10 off and basically get your last month here of drafts for just $20. It's a good deal, bestballoverlay.com. They have stuff for Eliminator as well. An Eliminator grid, I believe, is what they have. So some good stuff if you're playing the other tournaments as well, even though I'm, of course, only a BBM boy. And we've started 0 RB so far, 4 receivers to get it going. At this point, people reaching for Rashid, reaching for Calvin Ridley. Interesting. What does the draft guy do? Draft guy really thinking about it. I think he's going to soak up some value. No. All right, so Pickens has fallen all the way back. I am not the craziest about Pickens, but Pickens at a 12-pick discount, we can rock with that. George Pickens, wide receiver 5. This team got more unique for it. So Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, the double Devontae is a combo I know all too well. Amari Cooper and George Pickens here. People afraid of Pickens getting overwhelmed by Ayuk in this room, and there is a very high likelihood that nothing changes at all for any of these guys. Though this is where Pickens should go anyway, for Arthur Smith being his coach. But no, not the case. All right, Tyler here. What's up, bitches? Tyler going to be on the randomizer with our pal Pete Overzet coming up. Big call up for Tyler. Would come up on excitement, but should move down. His target compensation would be way higher for Amari Cooper. But it's a better team, I think, would be the thing that would keep him up. I don't think he would come down. A Niners player going in the 50s, I don't think is possible in these rooms, assuming that, somehow Amari Cooper were to get traded for Brandon Ayuk, which doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Nice golden streak here. Yeah, we got to decide basically the next round. Are we going to do an extreme 0 RB team? Do we pivot off of that? Go tight end, QB, RB, obviously. We shall see. Classic Arthur Smith comment. Yeah, you mean the thing that everybody's now catching up on, including the people making projections? Yeah. You mean the thing all the data people are now pointing out as they're doing their data dives? Yeah, that thing. The Arthur Smith, the classic Arthur Smith comment. Adam could not be on a colder streak. I feel like I'm beating up on Adam. I could tell Adam's going through a tough time with the Lad McConkey injury in particular. Like, literally, I can tell that Adam's affected by it. But the coldest chat streak right now, I have to point out, because as an arbiter, Adam's on a chat cold streak. New Adam's crushing. I mean, new Adam stepped up, man. And that guy steps up to the plate and everyone, fucking Babe Ruth balls. He's pointing. He's taking it out of the yard. Old Adam. Oof. Old Adam's on an 0 for 20. 0 RB Thursday. Yes, it's not the official 0 RB day, but it's coming up. Everyone's scared of Arthur Smith. I embrace it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you should always zig when you zag, when other people are zagging. Always. Doesn't even matter what surplus of information we have. Just keep zagging. Always keep zagging. It's like the people who are like, yeah, I got to take a bunch of RBs early because everybody's taking wide receivers early. Just keep zagging. Never had a cold streak in chat. Ever let the record reflect. I can't think of one you've had. Though you were touting Deonta Foreman, though, I think somebody pointed out. So that might be the cold streak. Between Arthur Smith and the threat of Ayuk, Pickens might as well have best ball herpes. Aw, that's sad. So you don't want to hear that. All right, we got Mixon here. Decent discount. Christian Watson would be a bring back from Minnesota Green Bay. We have enjoyed doing some extreme 0 RB builds lately. I am, of course, feeling pretty good about my Mixon exposure at this point, 13%. Man, this is tough for me. I like both these guys a good amount. Let's have some fun. Extreme 0 RB. Let's do it. 6 receivers in the first 6 rounds. Nobody does it anymore because they're too tempted by every RB player. But we will just push it down. So we're not going to take a receiver for a while. We got Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, Christian Watson. 6 receivers start here. Minnesota Green Bay week 17 correlation. It all feels pretty good. And I am quietly hopeful we'll get a good RB back. But we'll see. Many late round QB options. That is also true. That definitely helps with doing an extreme 0 RB build. Scary start. I'm not scared by this. Look, I can pass up Joe Mixon. I can live with that bet. I've got enough Joe Mixon. If Joe Mixon hits this year, I'll be fine. I'll get more than enough taste of that. And who knows? Maybe he turns all the way back around. Who knows? I think Watson might have fallen back. So he doesn't have an injury. He just got hit in the knee. He's fine. He's fine. Don't worry about it. Arthur Smith, not bad OC when QB isn't Ritter or Mariota. That's my bet. I mean, yeah, Justin Fields, big upgrade, I think, potentially. All right, we're getting something good back at RB, which I feel good about. Given these guys have all passed it up around the turn. So my bet was correct here that going receiver would at least give me something back still. Oh, Mr. Five. We're all just dunking on it. That's a bad bet. Poor Adam. Poor Casey at the bat, Adam. There's no joy in Mudsville right now for Adam. Shouldn't beat up on him more. Was hoping we get Kamara back. That would have been the cleanest. Montgomery back feels okay. Mixon coming back would have been the nicest because then we basically almost took him at the last pick. But we'll go David Montgomery here. He's the 0 RB, hero RB king for me in this spot. Really would have liked getting Kamara there, though, because Kamara would have given me opposite correlation to Devontae Adams, would have allowed me to make up a little bit of exposure on Kamara. That would have been my ideal. Mixon as a value would have been great, just soaking up the value on that one. Because basically right now, we've added an extra 4th-round pick in, getting Pickens at 53. So adding Mixon in would have been getting an extra 6th-round pick, basically. We didn't quite get that, though, unfortunately. Montgomery at 77, you'll get no complaints from me. He's been looking great in camp. Him and Gibbs doing the exact same timeshare bullshit they were doing last year. So far in camp, at least in those Giants practices, there's a play-by-play breakdown. Montgomery was catching passes, I think caught a touchdown, ran in a touchdown. Gibbs ran in a touchdown as well from 5 yards out. These guys are going to be both in the mix. Good to know camp hype doesn't apply when it's not. What camp hype? Who are we camp hyping? The camp hype for the Steelers? What you mean? The camp hype of them running the ball a lot? Adam is just like grasping at straws. I don't want to keep beating up on Adam, but he's like, you've lost your North Star amidst the injuries to Ladd McConkey. Pickens' camp hype is that he's had a couple of good days amidst 13 personnel. Like, the camp hype is not that Pickens is going nuts and catching everything. It's that he's catching occasional slants from Justin. Like, what camp hype? Malik Neighbors has camp hype. Malik Neighbors has, holy shit, this guy might go for 200 yards in a game camp hype. I read everything, Adam. You are trying desperately to dig your bags out. Desperately. Woof. Please keep doing it, though. It's definitely not making us all sad. My bumping Kamara ahead of Montgomery now that Kamara seems locked into a top 5 workload. Still not locked, but I want more Kamara just to level out my exposure here. I don't think Kamara is that much worse of a play than Montgomery. I like Montgomery's team more, like Montgomery's situation more. But I think for Kamara, to me, yeah, he last year in my rankings and the data version of the Spags rankings was basically just a bunch of volume metrics, goal line metrics, and efficiency metrics rolled into one. Kamara was steadily top 5 all year. So like he, to me, if he's going to get that workload, he's fine. I prefer Montgomery because of the good team. I prefer Mixon because I think Houston's going to crush this year. But I want to get Kamara to 8%, 8 to 12, ideally. Would be nice. Came here to show some love, Spags. Appreciate it, Ant. Thank you for that. Our guy Pat here. Pat, by the way, I know the Drafters guys who got giveaway tickets this weekend. Haven't heard back from Drafters yet. I think they're a little bit swamped, so I'm going to send a follow-up probably tomorrow. But sorry about that, because usually it is like a one-day turnaround. I should just say to you guys, when I do the giveaways, that it's like coming up in a week. But go support Drafters because they're about 33% filled. If I had to guess, could have a tough time hitting it without getting overlay in. Go to drafters.com. If you're ready to deposit an underdog, you should be playing on Drafters as well. Softer fields there. I put in 9 entries last year and finished top 110 with one of them. I think David Kitchen finished top 150 as well, is what I hear on the Swolecast every week. So Drafters, again, that just shows what you can do with a little bit of entries if you just know what you're doing. There's some basic structure, some basic player takes, things like that. Drafters.com, I'll point down. Drafters.com, promo code SPLASH on there to get a $100 deposit match. Going to 90 for Trevor Lawrence is not the move. You just got to get Trevor Lawrence when you have Travis Etienne? Yikes. Bad pick. Bad pick. Biggest value would be DeAndre Hopkins right now, but I think we're good at receiver at this point. Jonathan Brooks doesn't correlate with anything, but we will take him here. People, of course, scared off with the knee injury. We are not. So Jonathan Brooks, come on down. Never forget that Kenny Pickett was crushing camp in preseason. That's true, and the team loved him as a leader. Yeah, I try to stay on top of the giveaway stuff for you guys because I know that sucks. But yeah, in general, moving forward, I'll be like, it should be in your account within a week. But yeah, it's yeah, people get busy. I get it. Mythology just posted an Ayuk vid in the Squirt Squad Discord. Felt like fluff, but I don't know. Let's see. I can't pull up the Discord here on stream. Of course, the VIP Discord, part of what you get here by hitting that join button down below for $4.99. You also get my rankings updated weekly, exportable to Underdog with 300 player blurbs, basically now for every draftable player I view or every player who's not really draftable. It's a lot of fucking blurbs. Check it out. Jordan Love goes at 95 to a guy with no Green Bay Packers. We're in a great room. This guy, I guess, got mad that Trevor Lawrence got taken from him, and now he's taking it out on me by going with an unstacked Jordan Love. Very fun. Love rooms like this. Good times. Anyways, let's see. What's this video? What's this so-called video from Ayuk? Visit site. I got a pick coming up here. I'm watching a Brandon Ayuk video on my laptop. Hopkins still falling here. Oh, Bowers for more Las Vegas. Elite side end. Let's do it. Semi-elite. All right, they're asking Brandon Ayuk if he wants to be in a Niners uniform. Talking to TMZ. Ayuk's just being cagey, right? This video is stupid. TMZ, though, got to give him credit. They do find these guys everywhere. Doesn't seem like much dirt there. It just seems like him. A month-old video. Okay, there we go. Month-old video. As Tyler points out here. Schultz at 99. Hey, good. I hope so. Dalton Schultz should go at 99. It would help out my CLV quite a bit. But yeah, Dalton Schultz right now in a lot of rooms, I've been going in the 150s lately, or actually 140s. Seen him go in the 150s. Schultz is falling. I don't know why he would be, given what we saw in the preseason with a touchdown to a tight end there. And also the fact that, again, pass catchers around Schultz are going to give Schultz a lot of touchdown opportunity this year, even if he's not going to give you as many 8-catch days. You don't need him to have 8-catch days. So Schultz should go higher than the falling to 140s, 150s. He should not go to 99, though. He should not go to 99. But this guy, I guess, wanted to do a weirdo backdoor Houston, and he simply thought he had to get the guys to do it. Month-old video reposted today. Absolute scum. I mean, it's not a surprise. Everybody on Twitter is just engagement farming. That's why I don't go on Twitter anymore. I reply to you guys if you tweet me something. That's it. Twitter is just people desperate for attention. It's honestly the worst social media platform that's ever existed in the history of the world. If you take out the fact that like there is breaking news on there and like stuff like 32 beat writers, stuff like the Coach Speak Index, those guys do great jobs. I'm on there every day to see their stuff. Besides that, it's just people giving bad takes. Like if you follow Dynasty Twitter, holy shit, Dynasty Twitter is a cesspool of people who don't know anything and want to like get a job in fantasy. And they just think that the way to do that is to like engagement farm their way up. Social media is broken. Blame Elon if you want, but social media is fucking broken right now. Twitter in particular. I don't go on Instagram anymore because they fucked up my account. Kendrick, always my hype man. Appreciate it. Pickens of wide receiver 4. Wow. Yeah, or wide receiver 5. Yeah, we've done it. Love being in rooms where people reach for correlation. People don't blow up your team and make theirs worse. Well, to be clear, this guy blew up my team because he panicked because the guy took Trevor Lawrence from him. So the trickle down hasn't been great for me in this particular room, but in general, I would agree. Getting a chance to get Brock Bowers at 101 honestly doesn't happen that often in rooms I've been in. People reaching for Jared Goff here at 112. I mean, you got to take Jared Goff when you have just Jahmyr Gibbs and only 3 wide receivers. Really? This is great. August drafting. Got to deal with QBs getting sniped from you. That's not fun. Everything else is okay. Just buffoonery. Tyjae Spears falling in this room. Why? I don't know. Pollard also fell. Guess a room full of people low on the Titans. We will happily add Tyjae to our 0 RB room. We are not going to panic about our QB situation yet. We have outs that we can do late. Some of them not the most exciting. I'll give you that. Team's a 0-3-6-1 right now. David Montgomery, Jonathan Brooks, Tyjae Spears. Decent value on Tyjae, who I've not seen go past 110 in a while. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, Christian Watson, and Brock Bowers. So this is where we got unique. Pretty big value on Cooper, decent value on Devontae, huge value on Pickens. So this team is unique. I just have to figure out what the fuck to do with QB. QB is a tough scene. I got Jonathan Gator back in the mix, the interrogator. Glad to see him in here. Twitter is awful, but the occasional ass/titties and funny reply joke is great. I don't get any sexy stuff on Twitter anymore. I don't want to see it either. I just want news on Twitter. To me, that's where Twitter works best. It's just news. Where it doesn't work is everybody engagement farming and the For You page being shit that's not for you. But my For You page actually is pretty good. I see people complain about the Twitter For You page a lot. Mine usually gives me stuff that's relevant. Sometimes I have to take somebody off because like I don't care. Like no disrespect to like Christian McCaffrey or Jewish McCaffrey, that guy. he's okay. I don't need to see him on my For You page every day. So, like some of that, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But it's still technically my interest, so I get it. All right, this point in the draft, Khalil Shakir, a screaming value, but we fucking do not need wide receiver 7. Caleb Williams, also a little bit of a value, but we have no correlation there and don't want to backdoor it. Benson, a little bit of a value. Gus Edwards, Zeke. Jerome Ford makes the most sense. We're going to go Jerome Ford. I will still not take Nick Chubb in the 120s. I don't care how much the bar bends when he does squats. He should be going in the 140s. In fact, he's not going to play for a month at least. Team so far is a 0-4-6-1 here. We're making it up at RB. We got David Montgomery, Jonathan Brooks, Tyjae Spears, Jerome Ford here. Would have no issue with Ezekiel Elliott or Gus Edwards. I've just got enough of those guys and want to get others. And Ford is just, to me, a key part of what I'm doing overall at RB. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, Christian Watson. Tight end is Brock Bowers right now. So a nice team developing. Got to figure out how to stick the landing. It's going to be the tough part. We can get there. You have trouble picking Chubb in the 140s, and I likely won't. If he falls back to there, I'm okay with it. Like he and Hockenson, to me, again, 140s for Hockenson, 150 would be like the ideal spot where I think they just are a tier break with everything else you're getting, and you can absorb the risk, especially if you have, good players ahead of them that you can just get through the weeks they're not going to play. But Chubb in the 120s, no thank you. No thank you. Jeff warning me about if I want Deshaun Watson, I need to take him at 140. This guy has AR and Joe Burrow. This guy has CJ Stroud and nothing else, and he is an idiot. So this guy, I would say, would probably take Deshaun immediately at 142. Potentially. Okay, Tyler's got to work for a busy work day or got to bounce for a busy work day. Appreciate all you guys watching while at the office. There we go. Andy Isabella. Yeah, what a treat. Shocker, I think he's going to be always available. All right. What do we have on the way back? Some decisions coming up on the way back. Going to be a great time to make up on Josh Downs' exposure, by the way. If you are low like I was, I would also throw my rank for him out the window at this point. And also, look at the Dontavian Wicks fall. Yikes. Remember when everybody in the tree besides me thought that Dontavian Wicks was the greatest pick in the history of the world? And then they realized, oh, yeah, he's actually not going to play very much, like I was saying from day one in like January. Pretty fun to see him now falling into the mid-130s here. He had a good practice yesterday, for what it's worth. Still playing well. But Jesus. Where's the industry? Apologize for that one, by the way. Where's everybody who was steaming the Wicks train? Why aren't they going, oh, yeah, my bad. Oh, yeah, he probably isn't going to play that much. I think that was a pretty important one. Crazy month, though, when everybody was taking Dontavian Wicks. Gus Edwards goes at 137. This room is batshit. I mean, now would be the time to take Wicks. If you were low on Wicks, Wicks going at 139. Great. Take him here. Same thing for Downs coming down. Scoop him up. I mean, so Ty Chandler went. We have the Minnesota Green Bay bet. Look, I'm not trying to force my way to Marshawn Lloyd. I've got enough Marshawn Lloyd. Marshawn Lloyd makes sense in this build. We are going to take Marshawn Lloyd. We're going to see what happens at QB. If I have to panic at QB, if I have to go with a Vegas QB, a Pittsburgh QB, and a Minnesota QB, I'm going to do it. We're going to push. All right, so the guy who would have made sense to take Deshaun Watson instead takes unstacked Justin Herbert. So we're doing well here. We made the right choice to push Deshaun despite Jeff's warning because this guy had to get Herbert unstacked instead. So we're doing okay. Drafting Chubb and Hawk at the same team is such a bad move. Well, I mean, yeah, this guy's been making a lot of bad moves. It's not the worst one in the world if you have enough to make up for it. Like, you're basically getting two guys who would be priced much higher if they were healthy and going the entire year. But, you got to have RBs who can cover. You have to have tight ends who can cover. J.K. Dobbins up to 146 here. I don't know if that's because this room has gone insane or what. Let's see what the draft guy does here. All right, draft guy passes. Judy Drafter and Njoku Drafter are over here, so I think, should keep pushing Deshaun at this point. Musgrave increases our Green Bay bet, which is already pretty lofty, and we don't have the QB for it. Not really a good spot to take anything, so I think, just going to grab Deshaun here. Deshaun matters enough to this team. His ADP is coming up. If there were anybody here I really wanted to push for, I could do it. I don't need Josh Downs. I took 6 receivers in the top 70 picks. We've spent enough capital there, at least for right now. I'm okay at RB. I've gotten 5 guys in here, all of whom I believe have roles, at least by the first 4 weeks of the season, maybe a little bit later for Brooks. So I feel good about where we are getting Deshaun here. It's a 1-5, which is not a statement you want to make very often. We have a 1-5-6-1 here. We have Deshaun as our QB1, which is a little thin at QB1, but we'll get more. We have David Montgomery, Jonathan Brooks, Tyjae Spears, Jerome Ford, and Marshawn Lloyd. A lot of guys I like in normal here. Ford and Lloyd being 2 of my highest exposed RBs. No surprise there. And Montgomery as well. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, and Christian Watson, and Brock Bowers. I like to see him a lot. I feel like we have a good amount of floor and ceiling for the top 4. More pure ceiling, I think, with Pickens and Watson, with how we expect these teams to go. I'm enjoying this, even though figuring out QB has been a little bit of a hassle with these guys jumping all over the fucking place. It's a great room to be in. It's been a little bit tough at QB. A little bit tough in QB. Never understood Wicks. If you wanted Love, Dobbs, double stack, just take Musgrave, or double stack to take Musgrave, who's actually the wide receiver 3 and 4 and has much higher upside. People worry about Kraft a little bit. I agree with you, though. I've said the entire time, it's just like, one of the biggest skills I will say in best ball, which I think was something, again, I had to learn the hard way by playing contingent value like Naheem Hines, playing contingent value like Eli Mitchell last year. Even with somewhat of a lesser extent, Rashad Penny became pure contingent value. He didn't actually have a role. It's just being mindful of like, who's got a role, who doesn't have a role, and then treating them accordingly, where it's like, if the guy's only chance of getting a role is because somebody ahead of them goes down, I just don't want to take those guys anymore. If the guy's going to have some spike weeks occasionally and have some usage, you could take them, but, you need to pay a price tag that's lower than top 110, like Dobbs was going, or like Wicks was going. So it's a tough balance. I don't know. I think it's one of those things that you start to build up the callus more, the more years you do best ball. Even with the ADP shifting every year, it's just like, guys were going to play. Like, I think Lloyd, to me, some people might go, he's contingent value. He's going to play. If he's going to play, we're live for a Kyren Williams. If he's not going to play, we're not live for a Kyren Williams, really. And I think that's the big difference between like what a good play is late and a bad play is late. But yeah. Take Fields at 160 like everyone these days. I wouldn't take Fields at 160, but I think he could be a play. I don't know. I feel like the Wilson stuff, like if Fields played about as well as he can and fed Pickens about as well as he can, and in particular, the slant for them seemed unstoppable. That big 5-yard play for Pickens going to crush. I think that, I don't know. It's hard for me to see how Fields starts if Russ is still starting clearly starting after they've given all this positive steam, but I don't know. All right. Trying to figure out what the fuck we can do here. Leggett falling hugely. Ray Davis falling slightly. Burton, Wandale. I think we could use one more RB. I am so heavy on Ray Davis. I'm gonna go get a Sher Gibson here. Wish I needed a receiver. I think Leggett at this point, enough of a discount. Though you can make the case that Leggett should be more in that. I mean, McMillan went pretty early here. In terms of role, though, Leggett right now has less of a role than Jalen McMillan. Oh my God, it's Dameon Pierce at 166. What the fuck are you doing, man? This guy has no clue how to build a team in the 3-hole. I guess he gets stacking because he did do Stroud with Schultz incredibly early in Mixon. I just don't know. And he took Pierce with Mixon as well. Yikes. Mitchell at 169, also a god-awful pick. I don't care if CMC's calf fell off. We don't even know that Mitchell's the backup. Boy, oh boy. These players today. Fields went 148. Ugh. You still just get such decent odds of him being a 0. It's really a tough one. Estimate goes to 172. Oh, man, I really need to fucking think about what we're going to do now. Watson. New Orleans. All right, we know. Wait, did Fields already go? All right, fuck. Hold on. I'm just putting Bucky in. I don't need the other RB. Where did Fields go? No, he didn't go. Fuck. Why wasn't he on the top of the QB board? Oh, my rank has him too fucking low. All right, that was a panic click by me. Shit. All right. I don't think this build is fucked up yet. That wasn't a helpful one. We're okay. Baker's already gone. All right, we're going to hope that Fields comes back. If he doesn't, we still have one out to hit that I know I for sure want to hit. And we can live with the 7th RB here. And this is like a pure 0 RB room on an extreme 0 RB team. But we got to get these pieces to align right down the home stretch. I fucked myself there by not getting Fields at that pick. That's on me. My ranking has him too low. And he goes too high. And I was like, did I just miss him go? So that's on me. It's entirely on me. Yeah, but again, Baker went in the 150s. Baker went 153. So Baker not an option, even though Baker is usually an option. Yeah. So normally I would say, again, to try to clean up what I'm doing here, this would, to me, would not be a 6 RB room. I feel like we got 5 guys with roles. Even Gibson has the pass down role. Fields goes, so we might have to play this a different way. Might be a Russ team, honestly, which I can live with. But basically, I needed to take Fields there, have one less RB. That would have freed me up to take Fields, another tight end, and another QB. Instead, I'm going to have to do the same thing, but a different way. So we will just take Russ. Fields in the 15th is pretty aggressive. No, it's not. I mean, I think it is, but people are taking him in the 170s. As somebody said earlier, taking him in the 140s in some rooms. But yeah, that was fucked up by me. I mean, honestly, I think the Fields bet and the Russ bet are the same. I mean, obviously with Fields having a ton more upside. In terms of their probability of hitting, though, like I think it's the same bet. So I can certainly live with going with Russ. Jalen Tolbert up to 181. Again, he seemingly is locked into currently the wide receiver 2 role because CeeDee Lamb is not there. When CeeDee Lamb is there, they'll be locked in the wide receiver 3 role. But I would say that Tolbert at this point, if you have Dallas, if you have Philadelphia, he is a safe pick to take. And honestly, you can take him without Dallas and Philadelphia. Do I fade the Vegas QBs? I do. It's hard to pick one and have any confidence in them starting the entire year. I think with a week 1 starter right now, based on how it's been going over the last week or so in camp, if I had to guess, I think it's Gardner Minshew. But then at some point, you might want to see O'Connell. I honestly wouldn't shock me if it's like street QB, whomever playing in week 17 because the season doesn't matter. But it's tough with the Raiders. I can make bets on the Raiders, but it's tough to make more than the bets on the Stars, I think. Let's see what Bashi Boy does. All right, so we're going to go get a QB here who doesn't conflict and buy. Old safe bailout here. Aaron Rodgers, also a pick you could take, but I need a tight end, so it doesn't make sense to take Rodgers now. We have a 2, yeah. I don't think Jimmy G is going to go back to the Raiders. I think that is the least likely thing to happen in the entire world with how he played last year. We have a 2-7-6-1 here. Deshaun, Derek Carr is the QBs. Again, panic click Bucky here, but we ended up with 7 RBs here with David Montgomery, Jonathan Brooks, Tyjae Spears. Russell Wilson go? No, it's Roman Wilson. Thank God. Fuck. If Russell Wilson went as well to this idiot who's been taking dumb players the entire draft, I would have lost my mind. But you can see that's a wide receiver and not purple. But my panic is ready to go. We got Antonio Gibson, Bucky Irving, Marshawn Lloyd, Jerome Ford, Tyjae Brooks, Montgomery is the RB room, which I've probably read 3 times amidst yelling at that. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, Pickens, Watson. Need another tight end. Think you know it's going to be. If you're playing along at home, you probably know I'm going to pick a tight end coming up. Our old safety blankie, Juwan Johnson, who's running around at practice, not actually playing snaps, but he's been fine and on pace to go for week 1, basically since the moment he hurt his foot. So we will take him here as tight end 2. We have Deshaun, Derek Carr, David Montgomery, Jonathan Brooks, Tyjae Spears, Jerome Ford, Marshawn Lloyd, Gibson, Bucky. Wide receiver, we have Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, Christian Watson, an extreme 0 RB build. So we have not touched receiver since pick 68. And we have Brock Bowers and Juwan Johnson. So double correlation for week 17 here. We have a lot of mini correlation with Green Bay, Minnesota, Carolina, Tampa Bay. We didn't get Cleveland, Miami, unfortunately. And we didn't get Pittsburgh, KC, even though we are live to take a Pittsburgh QB in the late round. Missed a round 18, Juwan days, good times. I mean, you could still get him there sometimes. There's just no guarantee you're getting him in round 18, but there we go. Why did Garoppolo get cut from the Rams? To be clear, I think that was just him making a joke, but he's not going to get cut from the Rams. He's the backup. Maybe, I guess, yeah, if Stetson Bennett is not beating him out. So there's been nobody who said that, but Stetson Bennett is back from his mysterious disappearance from a year, and he's probably a career third stringer, if I had to guess. Who might have a moment? Stetson Bennett takes deep shots. He might have a moment in the game at some point. Drake May at 203. The man killing your favorite best ball analyst, CLV. Drake May coming down. Oh, was it confirmed rehab? I didn't know that. Or are you giving me Georgia like dirt info? Because I feel like I've not seen. I saw personal issues and treatment for something, but it could have been like the way it was phrased. Sounded like it could have been like the yips or something for him. But obviously, who knows? Bo Nix goes. Bo Nix still competing with that first team job. Apparently bitches at Jarrett Stidham for having to carry pads and stuff. Bo Nix doesn't want to do rookie bullshit, which I respect. Not publicly, but privately. And oh, you guys all have sources. Felix also heard rehab. I mean, it doesn't shock me given the fact that, like, didn't he have a DUI at some point? It wouldn't be shocking. But it also, like, the yips wouldn't have been shocking either, going from being the big man on campus to being, you know, something else. Jimmy G faces uphill battle. I have not seen that. All right. I don't know about SI. Like SI, which is sad to say, but I don't know if Sports Illustrated has like real credibility with that stuff at this point. So we could do, all right, well, let's let Boshi boy make his pick. He's got 4 RBs. I don't think that's a 4 RB room. Feels more like a 5 RB room for him. All right, he got Talabe. Good for him. All right, 2762 here. So normally I would say like Russ with Pickens, I can live with that. We're going to take Fields. We got JJ McCarthy all the way back, and we do have a mini Carolina Tampa Bay here. We have Jonathan Brooks. We have Bucky coming back. Bryce Young, QB3, feels pretty good to me. A guy who's going to run around, doesn't have conflicting buys with either guy. So we end this build. This was a harrowing one, but a 3.762, and Bryce Young in round 18. He's looked good in camp as well. Deshaun, Derek Carr, Bryce Young here, late QB bailouts. I love to do it. We're now going to get with the field on Deshaun as well. David Montgomery, Jonathan Brooks, Tyjae Spears, Jerome Ford, Marshawn Lloyd, Antonio Gibson, Bucky Irving are the RBs. We got Jefferson, Devontae. This guy did take Russell Wilson as well. This guy. What did he? His team has 3 QBs: Stroud, unstacked Herbert, and Russell Wilson as a luxury pick. What a team. Anyway, BBM number 92 for me. I have to finish reading it. Jefferson, Adams, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, Christian Watson. Tight end, Brock Bowers and Juwan Johnson, which would have been a 2 tight end room until he hurt his foot. And now it's like still a 2 tight end room, but it's free. So there we go. This QB room is the clown meme standing next to the soldiers, Adam. The cold streak continues for Adam. He just can't get one right. This QB room is fantastic. This QB room is going to win BBM, guys. And of course, that's what I'm trying to do here every day on stream. If you've enjoyed this, if you've gotten some info, some game theory, whatever's going to help you out, please subscribe down below, hit the like button. I try to do my best to show my gambling, my process for best ball that's led me to 4 finals in the last couple years. Try to show you it here every day on stream, just what the work is. I've been doing streams every day since January, getting ahead of the curve on rookies, getting ahead of stuff. And you can see here, if you follow the streams, that I'm ahead of the curve on lot. And that's what I try to do here for you guys every day. So please hit the like button. Please subscribe. If you want to support the show, join down below, $4.99. You can be added to this list. You also get a VIP Discord, 10 team reviews a month for me, my rankings, my news update document as well. You get all of that here. A lot to give away for $4.99 until I jack the prices up next year. Just really dunk it home. Best Ball Overlay. If you enjoyed the data on screen, go to bestballoverlay.com. Do it now. You'll get basically 1 month of all the stuff on screen, the exposures, the week 16 and week 17 matchups. Get that for yourself for $10 off, basically getting that 1 month for just $20. So check it out. Bestballoverlay.com, promo code SPLASH. Of course, Underdog promo code SPLASH, $250 in bonus cash. If you really want to support the show and yourself, go to Drafters, drafters.com, promo code SPLASH. Gets you a $100 deposit match, and their Drafters Million is $15. 500K to first place. No pods, so that luck component goes out the window. No playoff pods either. Just 17 weeks of total scoring and full point PPR. Last year, again, I finished top 110 on 9 entries. If that doesn't convince you about what your shot is there, by just putting in 10 entries, that should. And if you put in 10 entries, you get one free. Check it out, Drafters. Of course, I'll be drafting on there this weekend. 2 doubleheaders coming up this weekend again. Probably, my baby, probably.com. Please use it. Sports betting data, etc. And Stochastic, DFS. We're going to play some stuff coming up in the next few weeks in MLB. I think maybe even preseason at some point. Stochastic has tools for you. A lot of fun stuff coming up with them this year, including more streams. Again, more sim stuff on stream here. So Stochastic, check it out. Gamble responsibly, even though it's money time. And I'll be back tomorrow with more, guys. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the show at Splash Play Pod. Go watch Davis Maddock doing whatever he does. I'm getting my dick kicked in by him today, but I appreciate you for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow with more. Zero RB Friday coming up. See you then. Enjoy your days. Good luck. Bye-bye.